British Columbia is home to some of the most diverse agricultural products in Canada. From the traditional family farm to vineyards or fisheries, if you're into eating local foods, you're in luck. I'm Lori Petrick, dietitian and local food lover. Join me as I visit BC food producers and farmers who are committed to providing fresh, local foods that are good for you and good for our earth. Today we're at Meet Your Maker, a BC annual networking event where small-scale regional food businesses grow. I had the pleasure while at Meet Your Maker to speak to Denise Braley from Whole Foods Market. Denise is their food forager, also known as the matchmaker. She gave me the inside scoop on what it takes to get into her little black book.
And from the beginning, we've had really strict quality standards in terms of the kinds of foods that come into our company. You can't have preservatives or artificial ingredients. We have strict standards for the raising and care of animals, for the sourcing of seafood. It was 2 years ago now. Meet Your Maker was held at Fort Langley, and I met a really wonderful woman named Nicola Rosen, who is one half of the couple that is responsible for Outlaw Meats. So she and her husband Dennis live in the interior up in the Caribou district, and they raise sheep. When you meet someone who shares your values and then is also open to considering maybe making a few tweaks to make sure that they're meeting all of our standards 100%, that's when you know that you're on the path to a successful marriage.
To find out exactly what this marriage was made of, I headed out on a road trip from Vancouver to Clinton, BC, where Nicola and her husband Dennis's ranch is located. So all through the spring, summer, and fall, these are grass-fed?
Yes, until probably about October, because we're northerly. Our first frosts start to come in end of September, and October we're starting to feed hay.
And you're not organic, but you're not certified organic.
No.
But you farm pretty much organic principles. Tell me a bit about that.
We don't use, there's lots of sheep poo you can see, so we don't need to use any chemical fertilizers. And that's probably the biggest thing. They don't have any antibiotics given to them, nor vaccines actually, because they're going to market.
That's a bigger problem in New Zealand, is it, than here?
Seems to be, because we're in a cold area where you have good hard frosts, and that generally will kill your parasite problems. So if you imagine anywhere tropical or moderate, parasites love to grow. We're fortunate in that sense, but we do have a very short growing season, whereas they grow grass all year long on the North Island in New Zealand.
So it's a bit of a trade-off between having to feed the hay in the winter, but don't have to worry about the parasites.
Right. Once they grow to a certain size, then we do let them out, and they forage up through the hillside so they can eat all the good herbs that are up there. And that's actually probably one of the best parts of farming organically, is when you have that space to do it. Because when you're always on irrigated pastures and you're locked into a certain area, then it's harder to get away from those bugs. These ewes thrive much better in this type of land compared to a really moist area. Like at the Fraser Valley, they'd have a hard time. It actually has to do with their hooves. They would get a lot more hoof problems. And they're a merino breed with fantastic wool for this type of climate. Oh, here comes Pinkerton. You have to meet the shog. It's a hybrid between a sheep and a dog. A premature lamb, and he came into the house, and I tend to mother things a little bit. And so he thinks he's definitely not a sheep. Yeah.
And so herds the sheep with the dog.
That's a problem sometimes, yeah. Oh, monkey. Come on, monkey. Come on, little man. Come on. Oh, this is Monkey. So behind us is a special needs pen for all our special cases. Monkey's mom decided she wasn't going to accept him as her lamb because the scent was wrong. I brought him into the house to warm him up because he was actually premature too, just like Pinkerton. Anyways, the scent was wrong when I brought Monkey back to his mom. So we never found a new mom for him. So I guess I'm continuing with my pet farming. It drives Dennis crazy because they're not good for anything. Like, they're males, and so they won't produce lambs, and they cost money to feed, and we might get $2 worth of wool out of them.
But they're pretty lovable.
But they're lovable.
And how do you find sheep farming here compared to back home?
There's
Is
no
it
comparison.
no comparison?
No, no. This is work. There it's not. Like a guy can run 3,000 ewes there and manage it himself. Here we got 260, and it's work for two of us. It's just more intensive. We have to feed 6 months of the year, and good alfalfa hay to grow the lambs out, where other people would feed grain to get the weights up, so ours takes so much longer.
I always think it's like a really good bottle of wine. It takes a long time to become a good bottle of wine.
It becomes expensive.
Yes, so we're kind of like a boutique lamb. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Did you have to change anything within your own farm to meet their standards?
Whole Foods has a stringent policy, and you have to slaughter at a place that is Whole Foods accredited, which means that they've passed the animal welfare standards and so on. So actually that was a hurdle for sure.
It was a change of the animal welfare of once they left your farm.
Yes.
And went to slaughter.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, really, because it's sort of, it's a uniform, and these people have to perform the right way, and so we know that our product is getting looked after once it leaves here.
Yeah, we do all of this we are trying to do our best here, and so it's so nice that follows through all the way to the last moments.
For Farm Folk, City Folk, I'm Lori, and this has been Good for You and Good for Our Earth. Time to go eat?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da